Hello and welcome to FACEIT TV and of course ECS. We are here with Europe. It is the final day. My name is TomBiz14. Joining me is Harry, and well, this is going to be one of the most confusing days mathematically ever in the history of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot that can go right as well. And, well, I mean, there's going to be a whole bunch of great games going on today. We have 6 hours of Counter-Strike to bring you from the EU Season 2 of ECS. And, well, I mean, it's going to be the last games, like you say. And, of course, there is a lot that is determined today, mathematically, in terms of what's going on. NIP, the ball's kind of in their court to decide where this goes. But the first game of the day is going to be Astralis versus GODSENT. We got 2 of them coming up, and that's going to be truly exciting. So we'll go ahead and flip to the schedule to show you guys that. Like we say, we have Astralis versus GODSENT starting off on Dust, then going over to Mirage, NIP versus Envious coming up in game number 3 and 4. And then NIP versus Mouse Sports for 5 and 6. And I mean, the maps are there. Tom, do you want to give me your thoughts on that just a little bit?
Well, I just want to start by saying that, well, firstly, GODSENT, they have their sort of thing in their own court. Like, the ball is in their court. They win their games. They can get themselves up to sort of 30 points. And then we sort of, like, Astralis are through. Astralis literally have no pressure, which is a little bit scary because they're a team that, with pressure, can sometimes fall down a little bit. Either way, we can, like, bring up the leaderboard just to have a little bit of a look at it while we actually talk at the moment. But as you can see, GODSENT, they get themselves to 6 points. 30 is sort of the safe zone, although NIP with 4 games to play, they can actually get themselves to that point as well and get to 30. And then it comes down to round difference, and we'll hand it over back to Reedtz to do all the maths because we don't do maths. We learned that last week with Hugo as well. Maths on air, not a good idea, so we'll just leave that. Dig, still with potential to actually get through. If GODSENT are to lose, then Dig could go up on round difference. Then you got NIP who could still beat them. You got Mouse Sports who could still get through themselves. It's just the most confusing thing in the world. And it just means that everything is open, but NIP pretty much, they can just decide this on their own.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, we can really kind of talk about the leaderboard in a lot more depth once we see the outcome of these first couple of games. But like you say, for the time being, it really could be anything. A lot of it is going to depend on how NIP are performing. You've also got to bear in mind GODSENT, like you say, they could easily get through if they win both of these against Astralis. Astralis has been playing very well lately. But regardless, I mean, the winners will be going through the top 4 to the LAN finals in Anaheim. And actually, you can go online now and grab yourself some tickets to these. Anaheim.csgoleague.com is the address to go to. There you'll find loads of information about what you can do while you're over there. Also, all the tickets, and that's for the 10th and 11th. Of course, there are student tickets for if you are, you know, just a poor student or whatever. Don't have much income. Down on your luck.
You're there now, and I've been there, so yeah. we know how students
it's hard.
feel.
We can relate. So yeah, you can go ahead and pick them up. There are a limited number of free tickets available, which is going to be truly fantastic.
Also, we already have, like, what, 6 of the names to actually go through already.
Yeah, so, we do.
Like, we sort of have Astralis and FaZe at the top of EU, and then, of course, we've got SK, we've got Immortals, Cloud9, and Optic, who have all gone through in NA. And I think if I was going to pick teams, don't like to pick favorites, but those are the 4 teams that you want to see. And being in America, I think that's a really important thing to sort of take into account. So if you are in the area, or if you feel like flying, you can, of course, go to the website just named and actually buy your tickets. But back to the game at hand. We don't want to move too far away. We don't even know who's going yet. It's still going to come into question. Dust 2, Astralis, GODSENT. Where do we think this one's going?
I mean, Dust 2 is, you know, kind of the bane of GODSENT when it comes to facing Astralis. So when we look back, historically, we've seen Astralis have very, very strong performances against GODSENT on Mirage. It is just kind of their playground. Their win rates in the last couple of months haven't really been that great for it. In fact, we've seen them actually tend towards Mirage a little bit more lately, which is something I feel, you know, definitely going to impact game number 2. And I mean, when you think about GODSENT, they do have a fairly limited map pool in the grand scheme of things. When you think about them, you really do think of their Mirage, don't you? Yeah, like, you know, that's kind of the thing you look at. So coming into Dust, it is going to be tricky for them to come out on top. And, well, the pistol round is going to be underway, so we can kick things off straight away. We see Astralis starting on the T side, GODSENT over on the CTs, of course. Seeing as it is Astralis' map pick, we will be seeing GODSENT get to choose what side they're on, and they'll be on the CT side. So to kick things off, making their way out long, we can see 3 players here for the side of Astralis, trying to head on out, clearing the angles. And dupreeh, meanwhile, over towards the lower tunnels area, in danger of being flanked, exactly.
But they've actually gone right past him. Oh, znajder's spot is just dirty. Is he going to go for the knife? Is the first kill of the game going to be a knife? This would be a ridiculous way to start. dupreeh still unaware, but he will take the bullet instead. It's a couple of trades either way, and we will see the long push come in. This should have been scripted really by Astralis because of the push that came out, but it's only flusha actually on the site at the moment. There is going to be push coming in from long as well, so they have a pincer coming in onto the site, but a bomb plant should be almost guaranteed for Astralis. Should.
Yeah,
should.
But then again, they don't take into account znajder over towards short, picks up 3 frags, leaving it all on Xyp9x here. Going to be landing some great damage, but he is pinned down on the site. Has to get that bomb down. And JW, he's going aggressive, not having any of it. Tries to push up ramp. Oh, he paid the price for it. That's going to be his head taken off. And now it's a 1 versus 2. This is where things get truly terrifying here for GODSENT. Xyp9x, he has to ace to win it out. He gets the bomb down, and znajder, he's not going to let him have the satisfaction.
Yeah, no, znajder hitting the quad kill in that round. Really important as well, because you saw sort of earlier in the round where Astralis realized, okay, we're a man down. Before we get the bomb down, let's just try and take a fight. Let's try and take one with us, bring it to a 3v3, and also gain a bit of control of short. Well, znajder completely denied them. He was like, nah, not having that. I'm just going to take your heads clean off. And, well, he made things look almost easy. flusha wasn't even needed. He peeks out and goes down instantly.
Yeah, I mean, we have actually seen a really strong performance from both znajder and flusha lately, kind of 2 players that have become a bit of a hallmark of GODSENT. You know, the new addition, Lekro, to the squad as well. Had a bit of a hit-and-miss start, but he has ultimately been, you know, pulling his weight. He's got some big boots to fill, seeing as, you know, he is, of course, you know, filling Crim's role.
Especially on Mirage. Yeah. Especially on Mirage, because those stairs and Crims, they almost... It's like he lives there. He just loves stairs. Either way, pistols, we've seen the bomb go down for Astralis, so they will just be saving into this round. Gonna go for short because it is normally a position where there's a huge opportunity to actually get the bomb down. You can push there, not too much of a challenge going to come in. You can see a little bit of a lower position from flusha, and he may actually be able to deny them a little bit, but he's got a lot of work to do, and he's just spotted everyone. Nade could do a hell of a lot of damage, will dunk in, but he's actually taking quite a bit himself, and dupreeh will be the first to get a kill.
Yeah, that bomb, though, is going to be going down, and ultimately that's a lot more money farmed up here. They also take out flusha. Pronax tries to go aggressive, but can't quite land the shots. Finally drops out Xyp9x, and they do win the round, but that second bomb plant going to mean an extra in total $1,600 farmed up on these first 2 rounds. Very, very nice from Astralis. To, you know, they might not have got the rounds, but they have got the money on the back of it. I mean, that run boost that they did over towards short, you know, is almost like a little bit of a description for my life. It was looking so good, and then they just messed it up and fumbled, and ultimately, I mean, who knows, if they landed that run boost, could have picked up a frag earlier on, got down to the site, but they get the bomb down anyway, and that is going to be what they wanted. As a result, they can buy up into this one. Won't be enough money for the AWP to be in play, but
it is in play.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Sorry. Yeah, we are missing 4 rifles and the AWP.
Oh, okay, JW. Timing shot starts off onto Xyp9x, so already their AWP is picked up, and that's important considering they've gone for a little bit of a bonus. You got flusha on a UMP. Now, there was actually a stage, say maybe a few months ago, where he was literally just playing UMP, so this really isn't that much of a detriment to someone like flusha, but it's still a really important start to get them off with that frag. They still have quite a bit of utility, but the T's obviously getting 2 bomb plants in a row. They're going to have plenty themselves, and Device on the AWP, he is one of the deadliest players, not only with the AWP, but especially on Dust 2.
Definitely so. I mean, you know, having a little bit of a weak performance lately, but, you know, so far stepping up. He does find that early frag out on his Xyp9x, and already you can see the impact that has had. Astralis, they've grinded to a halt. They've had to slow down here. Now they're throwing out the utility towards long. It is just going to telegraph this approach, though. It does land those smokes to get them in towards pit, but they're not going to be capitalizing on it just yet. You can see they're waiting for dupreeh to try and make his way up short. flusha does hear some noise, though. Just goes pre-firing through the smoke. Does good damage on the back of the nade, but does get taken out. Pronax to trade, and he finds that frag. Now the rest of Astralis trying to capitalize on this long position. JW just looking away at the wrong time. Goes out for the peek and misses that shot. He's got to try and hold down this A site on his own as they make their way up. The rotate coming through for GODSENT here, and if JW can lock down this site for long enough, then he can buy them time. But Kjærbye, he's not going to let him have the satisfaction of doing that.
Yeah, he's actually got 2 opening kills as well onto this site, leaving just Lekro and znajder to try and trade this one back. And what started so well has come back to haunt the GODSENT side a little bit. The bomb is currently sat in Goose, and they do have to get it down. They are running out of time, waiting for the peaks to come in, and eventually we will see the crossover to get that plant available. Of course, they do still have the car position of Device, who should be ready to hit the shot, taking his time a little bit, and actually znajder will get one. But there goes Device, there goes Kjærbye, triple for him, and that will be the round in favor of Astralis, straight back on the scoreboard.
Yeah, picking up that round, just, you know, so critical as it does allow them to hurt the economy of GODSENT. It will be being, you know, a bit of an eco now right now as Astralis. They get their first round on the board, looking to try and land a second. And actually, GODSENT going to be force buying down. They want to try and keep Astralis on their toes, keep the pressure on. Well, we can see they send 3 players over towards long, trying to, exert a little bit of pressure here early on. And Astralis, well, they've got no one watching it. They need to watch out, or else they could have a very aggressive JW pushing up behind them, joined, of course, by pronax. And as they make their way over, you can see you got flusha holding mid. The guys over towards B as well, znajder and Lekro here. And it looks like they might be finding some action as 3 members of Astralis currently situated over towards tunnels. And the bomb in mid could be hinting at a bit of a mid to B split, potentially.
Yeah, they are setting up at the moment, but they're taking their time. They're not going for anything too crazy as of yet. Just looking towards Xyp9x at long, still waiting to see if there's a push. Now, JW is in a position that basically if pronax goes down and falls back, he's just going to be waiting. But the rest of the players, as you said, they are still around that middle area. May turn into an A split, but still looking at dupreeh. May just be holding off any sort of rotation, but normally, or at least in the past, he's been the entry fragger for the team. So the fact that he's still over towards the site does leave things to wonder a little bit.
Yeah, well, of course, they do know that there were players pushed up towards long. And so as a result, they're keeping Xyp9x back. Maybe we can see now he's rotating off to rejoin the rest of his team. They're stacked up over towards mid right now. They're trying to keep GODSENT guessing as they throw these smokes out to convert mid to B split. You can see, actually, they're slowly but surely pushing their way up short. Wouldn't surprise me. Potentially we see one of the members of Astralis drop down, try to deal with the threats into CT. Now the push out into this A site going to be underway. pronax has to hold things off, and it's glaive to hop down. Finds that frag on a flusha. Now it's pronax on ramp. Does get one. But Kjærbye, he's ready, primed and waiting to shut him down. It's going to be a 2 versus 4 now. znajder and JW tasked with trying to retake this site.
Yeah, there was a little bit of worry there for a second as the bomb was actually dropped by the 1 kill that pronax managed to get, but they had plenty of time to actually go and finish things off. And with JW over towards long and a CZ in hand, it's not a retakeable position, even if he had teammates, because pushing through long, it's not a long-range weapon unless you are absolutely ridiculous with the tap. So JW's going to just try and save this, of course, into the next round. They're going to have $1,900. The force buy was basically just an idea. Okay, we'll probably have to double eco anyway, so we may as well go for something into this round. And it hasn't worked, but he can at least try and find maybe an exit frag and pick up a weapon. It's not looking too likely, although he is pretty close to a couple of players currently on the B side.
Not going to be able to find anything. Will be looking to take the CZ now? I might do some damage on the Xyp9x, but doesn't quite land the frag. It is going to go 2-2 as it gets equalized on out. And well, this time we're finally going to be seeing GODSENT, relegated down to the just vanilla pistols. Maybe a couple of upgrades here and there. Relying on JW with that CZ and armor he managed to hold on to from the previous round to make something happen. But early on we can see that it is going to be the down mid on the back of the device to try and find some damage, but he can't quite land anything on that cross. He does the spot 2 players making their way over towards B. dupreeh tries to entry, but it's going to get tagged down to 60 HP. A nice little dink coming off there from Lekro to find the damage.
Yeah, just looking to see where JW is actually playing at the moment. It seems that he is still trying to challenge over towards long. Now the bomb just waiting in middle. Not really expecting too much to be able to be achieved. dupreeh is looking to try and find something, but getting close to that smoke. He's not going to go for anything as of yet. May just pushing a little bit later as mid control is seeming inevitable, but they're taking their time. They're throwing these smokes out, making sure that there's no chance of these pistols doing too much damage. Of course, if they lose a player, not the end of the world, but it gets to 2 or 3, and you kind of have to say, okay, GODSENT have done reasonably well in this round.
Looking like B is going to be the site in question. You can see they grab control in mid. The bomb making its way through up is backed up, of course, by a device on that up, but it's glaive to kick things off. Drops out pronax over towards middle. dupreeh now trying to entry, finds that nice shot out of Lekro. Checks the corner as well. znajder trying to play it sneaky beaky like, does get taken down, leaving it all on flusha here. He's 1 versus 4. And I think he's lifting his mouse as much as he can, but he hasn't got a USP to use to his advantage. So it's going to be a little bit tricky here. He gets spotted out. glaive trying to land the shot through the smoke. device not going to be able to spot him out actually over the top of it. They know roughly where he is, and of course now we can see them going for that peak. And there we go. Kjærbye takes him down. Doesn't want to give him any leeway into this round. And it's going to go 3-2 as Astralis actually take the lead.
Yeah, no, they've got themselves back after the first couple of rounds, and the early buy, it was so hefty that it really did just crush GODSENT back into position. No AWP in this round, at least for JW, but they will have a buy on the board, which is definitely important for them getting back into this game. And we are going to see Xyp9x go for a little bit of early aggression towards long, but the 3 players pushing, we will see the takeover from GODSENT as they throw out their nades, and they'll just set up a player in pit and push away, and that'll be pronax.
Yeah, he's locking it down, but it's not going to be able to find anyone just yet. Astralis, they're making their way down towards mid as per usual. They take control of the tunnels again. It's a bit of a routine for these guys for the time being. Flash out over towards mid, trying to find some ground here as they do make their way out. flusha playing CT as the crossfire with znajder. znajder's going to find one before getting traded out by Zipnix. flusha gets flashed out, has to fall on back, and Lekro, he falls on B. This B side just crumbles before GODSENT's very eyes, and already it looks like the call's going to come in to save. It's a 4 versus 3, and retaking that B site can be a harsh mistress if you are a man down. They don't have a defuse kit either. Not enough time, and that's going to be 4-2 now to Astralis.
Yeah, a man down, no kit, and very little utility that'd actually be worthwhile other than the flashbang, so not really expecting to see too much out from GODSENT. You can see they'll just fall back and save, make sure the angles are covered so that they don't lose any players, and they may have a chance to actually buy back up into the next round. Of course, they have lost themselves 4 now, so the round difference will be 2,900, or the money they will be getting will be 2,900, and that should be enough to get something. And considering they have 3 rifles saved, I imagine we'll see some sort of force, although if they wanted to save up for the AWP, I wouldn't be specifically against it.
Yeah, I mean, Astralis, they've already found a little bit of a lead. They're already building up that economy. You know, that is the question GODSENT going to be faced with. Is it such a bad idea if we just, you know, use these 3 rifles we have, try and save up a little bit more bank, and maybe invest better into round number 8?
They are going to buy, however.
But, you know, instead, they do buy down. And, you know, fair enough. They're trying to keep the pressure on as per usual. They don't want to allow Astralis to build up that economy much more. Once again, Device can't land that shot through mid doors. Does miss it. Yeah, it was close, but close is not a tag. And here we go, pronax making his way out, pushes through the smoke. Maybe a bit of an error there on his part as he walks through to his demise, just fed to the wall. So that's going to hand long over to the side of Astralis. They're looking to try and capitalize on it. You can see Device there with the AWP in hand. And now they do start to actually fall on back over towards mid. They put Device up there over towards Barrows with the AWP, trying to find a little bit of a shot potentially out on a znajder, who is playing up close to the mid doors.
Yeah, with long control man advantage, this is looking very good already for Astralis. You have to remember the only AWP in the game is currently in their hands. Now, the CTs have tried to react a little bit. They've got a passive position from flusha, just trying to hold the angle over towards Barrows. He's got short control as well, so they're basically just trying to sandwich them in from one side, only allow them to attack from long and nowhere else. Now you do see a position currently being held by Kjærbye, which should be able to catch them off, but at the moment, well, we're looking at znajder. He's dropped the bomb, however, it is on the site. It didn't drop down. It's not going to be as savage as we sometimes see. Now it's on flusha, finds the first. dupreeh is actually pretty close to him being able to find, but actually flusha will just fall back, take the man advantage, smart decision, but now we're looking at Kjærbye.
Yeah, look at this position in mid. Gonna be able to find one. Lekro gets caught with his pants around his ankles, and now Kjærbye falling on back. Escapes with his life. They don't quite peek on him in time. And as a result, it's gonna be a 3-on-3. Bomb is down and ticking in GODSENT. They're trying to make their way in for the retake, but the issue is you have Kjærbye who's played over towards long. As a result, it completely locks off that avenue of approach. They don't want to risk taking this duel. They don't know where he is, and they have to try and all funnel in from short and CT, less than ideal positions to retake from. They use their one bit of utility on that flash, but Device, he's gonna get taken down. Does whiff that shot with the AWP. Kjærbye to equalize things back out into a 2-on-2, and as that time is just whittling away, GODSENT, they have to fall back once again. JW, he does fake the fallback over towards short, takes out dupreeh, and now Kjærbye, he's thinking maybe they'll try going for the defuse, but they don't have enough time. znajder, the one with the defuse kit, ran for miles.
Yeah, it's still going to go the way. I'm a little bit worried about how Device went down there. It just seemed that znajder, although a lot of the other players are pretty quiet so far, znajder is on point. Been hitting headshots all the way around the shot. Now, in this round, I do think it's a much safer option. Even with the couple of weapons saved, they are just going to save up for a big buy. We know for a fact that the CT side will continue to gain money even if they save, so there's no real loss coming in for GODSENT, actually just waiting to go into this next round. Look at JW, almost gets the first, but Kjærbye, well, he takes a headshot right in return, and it will just be the trade, but definitely favor, well, because one of them died, I suppose.
No, and then Zipnix, he shuts down pronax over towards long. pronax is getting punished again and again every single time he goes for any sort of play over towards long. And now flusha over towards short, trying to pull the JW here as he goes aggressive. As we saw earlier, he faces the same fate as his Swedish comrade there. He gets taken down. It's going to be a 2-on-5 now. The bomb making its way over towards this A site. Device pulls out the deagle, trying to show them how to do it, but instead switches things up to the AWP. And then it's dupreeh to find that last frag. znajder gets taken down, and Astralis, they take it to a 6-2 scoreline. 4 rounds ahead of GODSENT for the time being, but a buy is finally back on the cards.
Yeah, Lekro, the new man, will be picking up the secondary AWP yet to frag. If he doesn't this round, he will be joining the British Secret Service. And not the start that he was looking for. Obviously, he was in the switch with him and Crims, who went back the way of Fnatic. Was always surprised by that trade in the first place, the fact that Lekro went over, but either way, we'll see whether or not he can actually step up over on this CT side. flusha going to go aggressive, and once again, that same push catches them out with long control firmly in the hands of Astralis. That hasn't worked once, it hasn't worked twice, and, well, now we're looking to see if they'll even try it a third time in the next couple of rounds.
Oh, JW, a very target-rich environment there, but somehow puts his bullet perhaps in a more rare situation. Does actually miss the targets. pronax over towards Car to find one. It's going to get taken out, though, as the trade comes through. Kjærbye finds that. It's JW to put things back into a 3-on-3 now. Still holding down Crossroads with the AWP. You can see the rotate coming on through, but znajder, he's taking a very long route over towards this A site, and as a result, it's mainly down to Lekr0 and JW here, and they're not in very good positions to try and trade each other out. Lekr0 gets taken down, dupreeh's burning to death, but he still finds the frag. JW goes down as well, and now it's all znajder. 1 versus 3, making his way in from short. That lengthy rotate coming back to punish them here.
Yeah, I think we need to see a pause come in. This has now been, what, 7 rounds in a row for Astralis. This is starting to get a little bit scary for the GODSENT side. And both the players who were actually by the site itself both had AWP. So the chance of a trade was basically just them hitting that flick shot onto dupreeh, and it just didn't come out. JW tried to live in the smoke, and he will die in the smoke as well. This leaves a 7-2 lead. znajder not really looking for anything other than an exit kill, and, well, there's no reason for them to go in that direction. There's nobody towards long. They've cleared it securely, and we will see every single player fall back in that direction.
Lekr0 doing his best James Bond impression there, currently 007 on this scoreboard. You know, a bit of a lackluster performance early on from him. Hopefully he starts to kind of warm up, because he is someone who can have these explosive plays. He just has to kind of work on the consistency a little bit. It is what comes from being, you know, he's probably the least experienced player on the GODSENT roster. I mean, that's definitely fair to say.
Yeah.
And, well, once again, it's going to be GODSENT. A bit of a quasi here, but it's Kjærbye to find that first frag on znajder in mid, and already, look at what this has done. They take out that mid player. They know that B site is going to be, they take out the one rifle. They also know that B site now going to be substantially weaker. They grab control of mid, flushes out to find one. Xyp9x burns out Lekr0 towards that B site. They keep holding mid. That smoke going to prevent the passage of GODSENT. And Glaive just holding this angle, going to get spotted out by pronax, who does find it, but dupreeh's there to trade. Puts it into a 2-on-3, but I mean, just pistols left alive on GODSENT here. It's not looking good.
Oh. Okay, Device still going to go down. He's not having the best of luck so far, but the thing is with Device, you want to watch him on the CT side. That's where he really comes into his own. That's where he's the most dangerous player in the server most times on Dust 2. flusha, well, he's tried his best, but Xyp9x is ready and waiting. Didn't have a kit, so there wasn't much hope for GODSENT to actually get anything done in this round. Now, that was just an eco, of course, and they will be able to buy back into this round. Lekr0 will pick up an AWP once again. Now, JW can get a second ult, but he's not actually going to decide to do it. So I wonder if this is actually a choice just because Lekr0 is struggling, that he's just going to be put on the AWP and see if he can do anything from that sort of avenue. Of course, the position he's playing on B does sort of help for the AWP, and also the fact that they've just gone long almost every single round. They've taken A site most times other than ecos, and they're absolutely decimating. That's 3 kills already for the T side. This fight is being destroyed. pronax, well, you get one once again, but everybody else on your team other than Lekr0 is dead.
Yeah, I mean, Lekr0 having a bit of a hard time here. I mean, that was a little bit reminiscent of times that we've all faced. That round took 32 seconds. 32 that seconds. Is a fast round, but I mean, you know, Lekr0 looking a little bit reminiscent of that one guy in MM who's, you know, Silver playing with all his global elite friends, you know, struggling to fit in a little bit for the time being. It's a real shame as well, because he's someone who, like we say, he can be this explosive player when he's in his element, but he is clearly struggling for the time being. You know, logical move, I'm not sure. He's having trouble hitting people with guns that fire multiple bullets, so they put him onto a gun that only fires 1 bullet at a time. Not really sure if that was the call to make, but, you know, that's something that can be adjusted at a later time.
I do want to say one thing for him, at least. They're not pushing B. So it's not like they're going B and he's losing the site every single time. Every time he has to go on a retake. So it is a horrible position to be in every time. Granted, not having a kill is not the best case scenario, but I would not put the blame on his shoulders by any stretch. They need to do better holding long. They're really struggling to hold it at the moment. They've lost it almost every time that Astralis have actually tried to take it. Both pronax and flusha have tried ludicrous strategies pushing through smoke, so that needs to change, and short control hasn't been much better either. So I'm not going to put all the blame on Lekr0 by any stretch.
Definitely. I mean, the issue is Lekr0 is the B player, right? And it's A that's falling every time. If he's not getting many frags, it's because he's having a retake in, you know, 1 versus 4s, 2 versus 4s. And, you know, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. flusha as well, someone else who's been very absent. And well, for this, for the time being, we can see Astralis, they pushed down mid. They're going to be taking short control. They keep dupreeh on the flank over towards tunnels to deny.
It's 3 players on B.
Yeah, to deny the aggression and keep those players there, keep them from rotating off. And that's going to bode very well for Astralis here, as they only have to contend with JW, who's over here towards long. pronax falls in mid, as does JW. This whole A site is open, but instead, they try to be too smart for their own good and rotate over towards B.
This is the only way that this could go well for GODSENT, but unfortunately flusha's not going to be able to do too much. However, the one man left alive, znajder, he's on the site. He's going to drop the bomb, gets the first kill. Now they know exactly where he is, and they should just be able to pincer in onto him, looking for the second glaive. The flash comes in as well. He's screwed, and that's going to be nice play from Astralis. That could have got out of control, but it didn't. znajder will be finished off, and, well, the rounds continue. I'm really wondering why we haven't seen a pause. 10 rounds in a row.
I mean, I think a pause is long overdue.
Don't worry, it's not like this is crucial for them qualifying or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like what we were saying earlier, that was the most NA laugh I've ever heard in my life.
Clearly found that hilarious. It wasn't just a fake laugh.
It is. This is, you know, so critical for GODSENT, like what we were saying. I mean, if they win both of these, there's a good chance they can get through and qualify. I mean, if they win both, then they have qualified. But, you know, it's not going to be an easy feat you are against Astralis. And right now, they're 10-2 down. The pause does need to be called in, as you say.
I think
Astralis...
It's a bit far gone now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Astralis, as per usual, just putting the aggression in towards mid. No one here to counteract things for the side of GODSENT. They haven't been able to contend with it. And znajder, missing those shots with the AWP, can't quite land it. And once again, Astralis, they find themselves control of short. They find themselves over towards upper tunnels, just watching for the aggression. pronax over towards long. The one time he doesn't push, there's no one there.
Yeah, he's managed to get control. At least that's something for them in this sort of round at the moment, where they do have a few decent spots. They've got a player over towards short, mid control still in their favor. And we may finally get to see a B push come in. Now, that's a decent spot already from znajder. Now, this is the first time he's actually picked up the AWP. We've seen it on JW. We've seen it on Lekro. Well, znajder, he's going to get us the first pick.
Yeah, taking down that player early on for Astralis. Look at how much it's displaced them. You can see Device going to get boosted over, and Lekro, I'm so sorry for you. He has been having a very hard time of it. It looks to be potentially even worse here as Device just peeking over that smoke. Meanwhile, the bomb's actually rotating over towards short. glaive as well, going to be trying to take long control. Will to contest with pronax, who's pushed up very aggressively. znajder going to be able to find one through the smoke. Glaive drops pronax elsewhere, and Lekro, oh, he gets his first frag! There we go. Lekro, that was a sarcastic clap. Hopefully, you know, this could be a bit of a resurgence from him. Elsewhere, though, that A site is going to be crumbling. Glaive and Kjaerbye, the two players tasked with trying to hold on to this bomb plant. They do plant for long. And while Glaive's in a very good spot to try and deal with this, Kjaerbye shuts down flusha, who's trying to rotate in through CT a little bit aggressively without his teammates there to have the crossfire. Oh, no. But look at this push from Glaive. They're not going to expect this.
The timing as well. Literally a second before, and Lekro may have been able to spot him coming. Instead, he's going to be able to sneak all the way around. A lot still relies on Kjaerbye. I don't think he was spotted out, and that'll be the first frag. Wow, this is just done and dusted. Lekro's luck's not going to get any better, as Glaive will pick up the triple. And finally, a good start to a round. It doesn't matter. It crumbles, and we see Kjaerbye and Glaive step up. Kjaerbye having an absolute whale of a time at the moment, 17-5. I want to point out, znajder, the kill he actually gets with the AWP, I'm pretty sure that was through the smoke on the player who was boosting,
it was
not the player on top.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, it was a nice shot to get. I mean, I'm hoping now that Lekro's got that frag, we can see him, you know, he's got oh my god, Device, you're insane. Takes out znajder in towards midway through my sentence, and you know, now we're going to be seeing Lekro over towards this B site, trying to hold things down. He's already got the taste for blood, so hopefully he's hungering for more. And we can see a bit of a return to form here from the latest addition to the GODSENT roster. For the time being, Astralis, they are taking mid control. They also have Xyp9x holding back long, and this could bode very badly for pronax, who's pushed up aggressively. If he tries to peek out and get a little bit of information, could risk biting the dust. Yeah, pronax has not had much love over towards this long position. flusha trying to push out the edge of the smoke, but it's Glaive to start things off. Lekro, well, here's your chance, buddy. You got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. He's going to go for the pre-fire, but again, it will be dupreeh. Entries onto the site, and this leaves just 2 players left. The oomps are all that remain, and there's no hope in this round. The bomb's going down. I think they may as well just even save the oomps. I mean, that's if Astralis let them, with Kjaerbye just, you know, wrecking domes like that. It's not going to be the case. pronax now the last player alive. He wants to go aggressive, but there's a lot of people in mid who, you know, aren't taking too kindly to Swedes for the time being. I wouldn't want to be going there. He does get shut down as it goes 12-2.
No. I've already seen one auto brought up. Yeah, well, is this just going to be the firing squad?
I mean, they have a 10-round lead. You can't say you blame. There's going to be 3 auto snipers.
And an AWP.
Oh, mid is going to be horrible. Don't go. GODSENT, what are you doing? They're all going to be. Somehow, actually, Lekro and flusha don't really get tagged that much. So, I mean, that was a
Actually,
very...
Device takes most of the damage, and somehow this push has worked. Lecro is on the board again with Pronax now combining over towards the site. I think they realized after seeing the auto sniper spam that the likelihood is the rest of the players would try and push B, because obviously, okay, we're doing a lot of damage down mid, let's go and challenge those players on B. Well, GODSENT have read it, Pronax has stepped up and got himself a double, so it looks like they may be finally able to get a round on the board, but I don't want to say it just yet. dupreeh, he's still standing, finds himself two. A couple of low players as well. He does have a good opportunity. JW, is he going to be able to retreat back? dupreeh not quite able to catch him. Also doesn't have the bomb.
dupreeh 1 versus 3 playing up towards short, does get caught in the air. znajder's going to be able to pick up that frag. And I mean, the most unlikely of rounds, GODSENT pick it up. It's going to go 12-3 as we approach half-time here. And I mean, you know, what a first half from Astralis. You can't discredit them that. GODSENT, they really need to pick it up. They're a team that can be very strong, but also incredibly inconsistent. And I mean, right now, we're seeing them in probably their weakest state yet, at the most critical time as well in the whole league. So,
well, I think the last round was one of the only smart pieces of aggression that we've actually seen come out from them. It was like a complete reaction. But either way, well, rush B, don't stop. I've heard that one before, and it's just going to be dupreeh spamming away with the USP. Finds himself one, looking for a little bit more. It will be the trade, and it's back to a 3 versus 3 with the B site under their control. The rotation, however, pretty quick, but Device, he's not going to overface it. He is just going to wait, but he actually takes a dink in the meantime. So down to 8 HP, and flusha looking to reposition, but Xyp9x is there to rip his head off.
oh, Glaive, he's just locking this down, landing headshots, bashing in craniums for days. It's all on JW, and he walks into the waiting arms of Xyp9x. Defuse going to be coming in. It's Astralis. They win out the pistol. And I mean, at this point, the hope is not really looking too good for GODSENT here. Astralis going to be picking that up. It's going to go to 13-3. They should be able to get, you know, at least one more round to take it to a 14-3 scoreline. And I mean, at that point, GODSENT, they're going to be on the ropes, to say the least.
Yeah, I think if you're a Dignitas fan right now, you're probably smiling quite a bit, because obviously the only way that Dignitas can actually get through is if GODSENT basically get, well, worse round difference and fall down onto the sort of 24 points position. So yeah, definitely a good possibility for Dignitas fans. Of course, we've still got NIP and Mouse who could both ruin their day, and another map, of course, but already starting things off, we can see a very safe buy coming out from Astralis. Of course, they've not really got a reason to try and save up money at this point, and they are cleaning things up. However, pronax will get one. We do know that this is, of course, a save for the next round, so the reason they're not investing everything into this is because they want to get themselves the rifles into the next. And, well, just looking at flusha now, the more damage, the better. If they can win the next, maybe reset them, that would be wonderful, but I think really we're clutching at straws at this point.
Yeah, flusha is trying to land some spicy 1-deeks, but that's really all they have going for them. Might be able to find another one to Glaive here as he looks to push out long, flashes himself out. flusha now backed into a corner. Gonna be, oh, there we go. Another headshot out from him as he drops out. Glaive gonna find himself down to 1 versus 2. Does good damage. Might better get a third. flusha, what are you doing? This shouldn't be allowed. He's going on a tear with the deagle, and it's a great return to form at a time when they needed it the most. Only issue is 50 seconds left. Bomb down in lower tunnels, and I'm fairly sure Xyp9x is fully aware of that location. You can see now he's trying to keep an eye on it. flusha going for this long flank, making his way through upper tunnels here. Of course, he has no armor, just the deagle. Xyp9x, on the other hand, 65 HP, the defuse kit, and an M4, as well as, you know, pretty much all the armor he's going to need.
This is quite a smart move, but at the same time, it leaves them with very little time. Now, Xyp9x is going to go on to short, and this should ruin pretty much any chance of flusha taking this round. He's going to have to do something absolutely crazy just because he needs to find the shot. But actually, Xyp9x jumping down. He's going to walk into him, but still gets the kill. Any heroics from flusha, it's not going to happen, but that was an eco round. Now there's a good opportunity for a reset to come in. And flusha may have just helped them get themselves an extra round or two on the board if they can win this round. It still all relies on this round.
Yeah, well, I mean, he you know, single-handedly did such a huge blow to the economy of Astralis. You can see utility isn't really where you'd want it to be. Glaive going to be relegated down to the UMP as well. And as you can see, the aggression making its way out long. These AKs going to be coming handy at long range. pronax does find the first. Xyp9x going to be the first to fall for the side of Astralis. And Glaive has to hold down the cross, finds one. Does good damage as he combines with Device. Going to be able to pick up another on the back of this UMP, just shutting it down. The long play not coming in too great here as they have already lost 2 players, potential to lose a third. znajder playing up close and personal to this smoke, in real danger of falling prey to the UMP's nasty bite. Pushes on through, but he doesn't check the corner. Oh no, that's embarrassing. flusha falls as well. JW in mid, he's as good as dead. dupreeh is able to get him. It's going to go 15-3 as Astralis arrive at match point.
Yeah, I think most hope has gone at this stage. I do want to say that the last time I casted Astralis, they did this exact same thing, then were 13-2 up on Mirage and still managed to lose it. So I'm hoping those days are gone. Of course, they've had a roster change since then, and this isn't the same level anymore. Of course, there's no pressure as well. That's the big thing with Astralis. We've always talked about them and pressure. Pressure and Astralis. There is none. They are qualified. This is literally just to hurt the Swedes at this point. And obviously to win the match for pride and whatever else you want, but they don't need the points.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like you say, it is just kind of impede the Swedes for the time being. And well, for this we can see Glaive and Zipnik's doing exactly that. They put the heart on them. JW and pronax both go down. Two just little treasures of the Swedish nation taken off the face of Dust 2 here. It is going to go into a 5 versus 3. They're trying to grab mid control, but they don't really have the weapons to do it. Now they do. 3 scouts in hand, actually. This would kind of be the ideal setup to take mid. We can see both Kjaerbye and Zipnik's here to hold this one back. Kjaerbye playing close to the double doors. He goes for the peek, might be able to take out flusha, and unbeknownst to him, he might just end up walking into the crosshair, so he makes his way across. Kjaerbye does spot out the kind of top of his head, and now we can see Lekro trying to make something happen.
No.
Oh, well.
His day has gone from bad to worse. Gets dunked out of what is looking like the final round. It's Tag City at the moment with these scouts, and both players will fall. An absolutely dominating performance. The last time they played, I think it was 16-5. This time they've improved by 2, 16-3. There really wasn't anything there. I think
aim of the game is 16-0 by 2017 for the future events. I think that's the whole point of it.
Next week.
Yeah, true.
May not even need to wait that long. Looking absolutely phenomenal in that game. Kjaerbye had a standout performance. We didn't even really get to see the device CT side that I was looking forward to with that AWP because they didn't really have a CT side. It ended so quickly with the pistol. Of course, that is only the first map.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very important that GODSENT, they start themselves off strong and they get themselves that final map as well. Because if they get themselves the extra 3 points, they're on 27. They've sort of stopped any chance of Dig getting through. They've got themselves a little bit higher up so that you need to see more wins from NIP or Mouse Sports, and also Mouse Sports as well. They would have to beat them on round difference. If they lose this next map, Mouse Sports can still overtake them. I think Dig actually will overtake them just on round difference. So very, very important that they get this final map. It is going to be Mirage, but I do imagine that we are going to be cutting to a break fairly soon. But have you got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the real thing is I feel like we should just quickly try and address, what went right for Astralis, and more importantly, what went wrong for GODSENT. I mean, we've said
what went right for Astralis is everything.
Yeah, everything. The thing is, we have spoke already. Dust 2 is a bit of a kryptonite for kind of GODSENT. Not really faring too well on it, especially against Astralis.
Well, it's a very, very strong Astralis map. Their setups on the CT side are very, very good. Again, we didn't really see that. A lot of the time, it just came down to aggression. I think aggression was the big problem for the GODSENT side, like trying to take long by flashing through smoke.
Yeah, JW and pronax every time kind of going down to that long push. Or
and why not do it with like a lot of teams? We saw even Astralis do it very, very early on. Like you just send 3 players there, and like sometimes if you know that they're taking that position, rather than just go, okay, pronax just flash 1 player through a smoke. Why not have a couple of players there so there's at least a chance for a trade? The problem was after the first time, flusha then did exactly the same thing and died in the exact same way. And every single time, like we were sort of talking about the kills of Lekro, that wasn't the big problem. There was no way that was the highlight. Yes, it
wasn't helpful by any stretch, but
of course not.
Yeah, no, it was not exactly.
If you're always retaking, you're never going to have a good KD unless you're insane.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could tell how that was kind of affecting the morale because every time they came B, he really didn't step up to the mark. Missed a lot of those shots when it came to the B hold. Issue is, I mean, when you've got someone kind of in that mindset where they're constantly having a retake, it's hard to then ask them to step up on their own site when their teammates are struggling over on A. So, yeah, I mean, that does round it off from map number 1. We have got map number 2 coming up very shortly on top of the hour. I believe it's about 20 minutes till the next map starts, so be sure to stick around for that. It is going to be Astralis versus GODSENT on Mirage.
This time now, my bro.